Hi, welcome to Earth Path Crystals. I am White Fawn. Love shook my heart like the wind on the mountain, troubling the oak trees. This was a quote from Sappho. In the 7th century before current era, the heart has been connected to strong emotions such as love. But how is it that the heart shape we know today became connected with the heart? Today we're going to explore the history and discover the magical and spiritual uses of the heart shape as we know it. The earliest known picture of the heart as we think of it now comes from 510 to 490 before current era, from the city of Cyrene in modern-day Libya. It comes from the plant Silphium, and Silphium is a form of fennel, much different from the fennel that you see here. It is now a simple seed, where then it was a beautifully double-lobed seed shaped like a heart, and it was a contraceptive. Fennel has a chemical in it known as rutin, and rutin, as we know in modern science now, makes the uterine lining inhospitable to the implantation of an egg, and that may very well be why this plant was used as a contraceptive back in the day. It is also very much connected to the goddess Rhea. Now Rhea, whose name means flow, was a goddess of the divine feminine. She was a goddess of power and great secrets, a goddess whose name Flow comes from her connection to the menstrual cycle, mother's milk, and the fluids of pregnancy. I would recommend, if you wanted to celebrate the divine feminine and honor her on your altar, using a crystal such as a hematoid quartz in a heart shape on your altar. Now, the other possible historical origin of the heart symbol comes from Aristotle. The heart of all animals contains cavities. In large animals, they are all three distinct enough. I have observed the principal cavity is on the right side, and above it, the least is on the left side, and the middle-sized one is in between them. This description of the heart comes many, many years before anyone tried to illustrate it. Guido da Vigevano was a famous illustrator of anatomy in the late 12 and early 1300s, many, many centuries after Aristotle. And he was the first to depict the heart in the double-lobed state that we think of it. In 1344, we see the first romantic depiction of this heart shape. In it is a picture of a man holding his chest, and his betrothed has his heart and hers upheld. The picture is known as the Romance of Alexander. And it is in this time, in the Middle Ages, that hearts begin to be connected with love. And we can use hearts in things like love spells, such as selenite. Selenite is known for removing energy blocks, which could be very useful in a love spell. You can also use the heart shape to keep away an unrequited lover. Aphea was a maiden on the Isle of Crete. Her name means to disappear, and she is connected with Artemis for being both a maiden and a huntress, and the phases of the moon with her given name, because the moon itself appears and disappears and reappears again. She was beloved by fishers and celebrated amongst the marine community, worshipped as Artemis as well as beside her. She was known as one who follows her own heart. When the king of Minos decided that he wanted her for himself, she leapt from a mountain to get away from his unrequited passes. And as she fell down below, she fell into a fishing net. And in some stories, that fishing net was held up by Artemis to catch her. To keep away an unrequited lover, you could take an Amazonite or a labradorite or any other feldspar such as moonstone or sunstone heart and uphold it in a net, suspending it for protection from that unrequited love. It's in the Middle Ages that we see hearts being used on playing cards. And in fortune telling, the heart represents spring, summer, the power of light, life, and the world, joy, the emotional core, the femininity of water, and receptivity. You could use a piece such as a rose quartz, setting it on a common table to help with receptivity in conversation when you know that there may be communications that are hard, or that you know there may be people around each other that have difficulty getting along. In the Renaissance, we see the heart being used for the Sacred Heart of Jesus and for the heart of the Virgin Mary. The heart of Jesus represents God's boundless love, and the heart of Mary, her love of God. You can use the heart in meditation on these subjects. We see the same heart again with the same symbol and the same meaning in Pennsylvania Dutch hex signs. In ancient sacred geometry, we see the heart being used. You could take your rose quartz heart once again and use this in that meditation. What I would recommend doing is visualize you sending love out to the universe, and then the universe sending that love back into you. And as you send it out, the universe amplifies it and sends it back. And when you receive it back, it is amplified, and you amplify it back to the universe again. Going back and forth, continually building and gaining energy, gaining love and direction. In the heart itself, we see the double spiral in sacred geometry. The spiral represents connection to nature, and a double spiral represents our nature and emotions. We also see the heart in the seed of life. The seed of life is the center of the flower of life in geometry. We can see the heart symbol being created by the interconnection of 6 circles, and in this connection we also see the formation of the 6-sided star. It is said that this represents the unfolding of the universe, and meditation upon it and even drawing this out can help you understand the universe in a greater way. I also recommend using the hematoid quartz for this purpose. Throughout the ages, it has gained greater and greater power as a connective symbol of romance and of spiritual love. And in 1977, the heart symbol became a verb in the I Heart New York sigil. This was a sigil of morale, to boost morale against the litter and the crime that was running rampant in the city. I recommend using pyrite as it filters negativity for a morale booster. Now, I personally would wear this pyrite close to my heart on my chest. However, I understand it's a very large and heavy piece. So, it is perfectly fine to keep it in a pocket or in a purse if you wanted to have something like that as a morale booster on your person. Also, any heart of any kind of making would be good for that, because it should be something that you are personally drawn to. Further uses include exploring hidden dreams and emotions. You can do this by taking a labradorite and placing it close to your bedside. And also, in exploring spiritual ecstasy and ecstatic states, I would recommend using a selenite, as it is good for connecting with Kundalini. This has been a very exhaustive study and project on the many uses of heart shapes and using different stone and crystal properties. I would love to hear your experiences. What types of heart shapes do you have in your stone collection? And please leave some wonderful comments, because I really love hearing about what everybody does with their neat tools. So let me know, and I'll see you next time.